Hello and welcome back to the Movie Bar Podcast, a movie podcast by movie fans for movie fans. The bar is now open. Welcome to episode number 90, only 10 away from the infamous 100. I am your host, John, and I am here with my esteemed co-host.
I'm Justin.
Hi, Justin. What's the matter? You don't sound too happy. You have a rough Christmas?
Yeah, keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
Never let them know what's coming next.
Yeah. Oh, nobody ever
Like
knows.
the way you read your own introduction backwards.
What?
You said by movie fans, for movie fans, instead of for movie fans, by movie fans, and I thought that was fun.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, it's a movie podcast for movie fans by movie fans. So, all right. So what's going on?
Do that again.
Okay. So what's going on in the world of movies this week? Anything interesting? No.
Not really. There was a whole lot of Christmas movies on this past week.
Yes, I know. Did you partake in any?
I tried not to.
Yeah. Well, and sad
I
news,
I watched A Christmas Story.
That's the one I didn't watch this year.
It's on for 24 hours on 2 channels.
Yeah. Well,
at some point during those 24 hours, nothing else is going to be on for at least 2 of those hours.
You watch the end of it, and then you could go back and listen to our watch along we did last Christmas, and listen to us talk about it while watching it. Did you do that? No. Yes. No. No. Well, it's some sad news. Nashawn Breedlove, he was an actor that was in 8 Mile, one of the rappers against Eminem's B-Rabbit, passed away at the age of 46. Our condolences to his friends, family, and fans. Any new trailers did you see this week?
No, I did not. I was just kind of trying to get through work.
Yeah. All right, what you watched this week?
Not a whole lot. Let's see. I watched Christmas Story because, like I said, it was on. I watched Volcano this morning.
Volcano?
The one with Tommy Lee Jones. Of the volcano in LA.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
I didn't really watch the whole thing. Yes, you Tommy Lee Jones and Heish, Sylvester Stallone's brother there, Frank.
Really?
Yeah.
Frank Stallone did a movie without Sylvester Stallone? What the fuck?
It was pretty terrible.
Oh, okay. What year did it come out in?
It's got to be mid-90s, 2000s.
Really?
Because, when all the other disaster movies came out, like Dante's Peak and all that crap.
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah.
Yeah, the CGI in it, the graphics were just god awful. It's just bad.
Don Cheadle, yeah. Oh wow. Keith David. John Carroll Lynch. Wow.
Maybe it didn't have Sylvester Stallone's brother in it. It just had a guy who looked exactly goddamn like him. Yeah, might have been this Michael Rispoli. Kind of looked like him in the dirty way he was in the movie there. So, but anyway, still, it was pretty bad. I couldn't really even pay attention to most of it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Do yourself a favor. Don't.
Okay. Won't hop on that train real quick.
No. But yeah, that was it.
That was it? Okay.
That was it.
So my week kind of started off slow after Die Hard. Didn't really watch anything, and then.
Oh yeah, I guess I watched Die Hard, huh?
No, wait a minute. No, yeah. No, yeah, we did. Yeah, we watched that after. No, we didn't. We watched that Sunday.
Yeah.
Anyways, I watched The Mule, and I proceeded to tell the old guy at work I needed him for a weekend. He was going to make a run to Mexico for me. But he falls asleep too much, so he won't be doing that. And then Christmas morning, we watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman while opening presents on Christmas Eve morning. Sorry. Then we watched Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And I said, geez, we're only one step away from having a Griswold family Christmas. But anyways, I watched
Sorry,
Peppermint.
I was not going to show up in my bathrobe.
Show up in an RV with the kids and the wife. I would have been okay with that. Standing out there with the fucking shitter. Shit is full! But I watched Peppermint. You ever seen that with Jennifer Garner? Her family gets gunned down and then she goes like on an act of vigilante.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've just never seen it.
I watched that. Then I watched The New Guy with DJ Quills. I forget how funny that movie is. Then I watched Fog City, which was the Steve Wolfs who did Muck and Kill Her Goats. It's about a group of friends that are stuck in an isolated house down the Cape during this strange fog in their city. They think it's from one of the power plants. And fucking chaos ensues.
So far, sounds like The Mist.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same storyline, and like people start going fucking crazy, and then it was pretty good. And then I watched Machete and Machete Kills and Bounty Hunters with Trish Stratus, which wasn't bad, and Death Wish with Bruce Willis, which I just finished shortly before we started recording.
That's good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Directed by Eli Roth. I'm in an Eli Roth kind of mood because the movie Crypt actually released his conversation from Yorkie-thon again. So it was cool to listen to. But yeah, so that's all I watched this week. Expect a big list next week. So this week we are going to be discussing our top movies of 2023, since somebody doesn't like top fives.
No.
So what's your first top? What we'll do is we'll go back and forth, unless we have the same one on the list, and we'll discuss why we liked it and all that. How's that?
Well, fine, but I think your number 5 is too far up on the list.
Well, like I said, we're not going to do top fives.
But yeah, so one of mine, and it's shared by you, and it goes without saying. It came out early in the year. There's a lot of talk about it, a lot of hype around it, especially with the death of Ray Liotta.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my top movies of the year has to be Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
Just for the originality of it, the way they pulled it off. It could have been just nothing but stupid, terrible camp. It could have been, just kind of like a terrible B horror movie, but they made something out of it. So I think that deserved to be in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, it. So we did determine this was Ray Liotta's last film, correct?
No, he was in Charlie Day's movie too.
Oh, okay.
And I think he was in one other thing that got released after. So
one of his final films.
Yeah,
but
one of.
I remember first seeing the trailer, getting excited. I think you showed it to me, and then, when it finally came out, I believe we covered it fresh from the stream as soon as it hit streaming.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And
It was worth it.
And you know, Kyle was with us at the time, and we all liked it. Like, it's funny, somewhat original idea, even though based off of true events. Even though I think in real life the bear just ate a bag of cocaine and died.
Yeah, pretty much. It went on like a 20-minute.
But you know, and then to have like the sheriff, the guy from The Wire, or not The Wire, he was in Cedar Rapids. You know, very melancholy. The park ranger, the little boy, all had their fucking moments. The bear, like, you know, when he's crawling around.
Oh, they did.
But yeah, definitely one of the top movies of the year. My next one is No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Have you have a chance to watch this yet?
I watched it, yeah.
I don't think I have ever laughed so hard in a movie theater as I did watching this movie. There were just some scenes that were fucking hilarious.
I don't know, it just didn't hit me the same, I guess, as it hit you. Like, it was good, but
You know, like, you know, when she, so basically the story follows this girl who's trying to get a car and agrees to sleep with this teenage, you know, this 18-year-old boy at his parents' discretion. And if she does, she gets a car, and it's just fucking, but she can't let him know why. And, you know, that scene when they're in the van and he fucking maces her, and then, well, I thought you were going to, because, you know, all the fish and shit in the back of the, just a funny movie. The fight scene when she comes out of the water and beats the piss out of those kids. I actually almost watched it again today, but yeah, so that's one of my top movies this year.
Well, I'll probably surprise you with this one, but I'm going to pick another horror movie next.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. How the hell was it? No One Will Save You. I think that one was particularly well done for a movie that had, I don't know, 2 or 3 lines of dialogue in it. It still kept me invested. It kept me watching.
Yeah.
I think it was very well done.
Yeah, that was also another fresh from the stream that we had covered.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was on Hulu.
Yep, Hulu. A Hulu release.
Yeah, and you know, it definitely used a lot more physical and than it did verbal, because like you said, there was only 2 lines of dialogue.
If that.
And the action throughout the suspense throughout the movie, like, definitely kept you enthralled, and you know. Anything else more on that?
No, I just thought it was a really good movie.
Do you think they make a sequel of it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he could do somebody else get rejected, but I don't think they will. You know, sometimes with horror movies, you got to just let it sit with one. Just let it fucking be.
And then there's certain ones where when they do make sequels, they don't find their feet until 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You know.
I mean, I think they did that one right, though. I mean, they showed you what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, you know, just not like some of these goddamn movies. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
You won't ever see it. You had, I mean, a good chunk of the movie was just her just basically trying really, really hard not to instantly die. So, I mean,
and plus, you really don't see the alien. You see the one that she kills.
Well, you see a lot of them. Like, you see, they give you that generic alien figure for that first couple, and then they kind of have those other bigger ones, and they show, you know, they all based off of the old, you know, gray guy. But
yeah,
I think it was a good take on an alien abduction movie.
Yeah, definitely different. Definitely well done. I actually forgot about that one when I was scrolling through movies of the year.
See, that's why I don't like doing things like that.
But no, that's why it's good for this two of us, because A, we have different tastes, and B, you might remember something that I don't remember, and I might remember something you don't remember, even though you have a better memory than me. Because, I am, I'm me. I can't remember shit.
People with bad memories tend to gravitate to me.
Yeah, well, good. That's why we've been friends for so long. But yeah, so next is one you didn't like, but I did. And that was Joe Lynch's Suitable Flesh. This was kind of the resurgence of Heather Graham this year. She had this one, and then Best Christmas Ever, and then there's another one I believe coming out soon that she did. But I definitely liked this movie. The storyline was different. Kind of the H.P. Lovecraft ties in with the Reanimator movie, all in the same universe, and yeah, like interactions between the characters when they're possessed and when they're not, like, it was really good. So if you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out.
All right, so, well, one oddball for this year is I didn't see a single one of the new Marvel movies. But with that being said, I am going to pick a bit of what I will call my favorite property movie of the year.
Yep.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I thought that was a terrific movie, a good kind of buddy movie. Dungeons and Dragons is something I didn't play or anything, but I know of, and it's one of those things that it can kind of, I think that given the wrong creative team, it can go wrong real quick because you just try and shove too much into it.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job. It had a nice coherent story. It's fairly easy to follow. With some good twists and stuff in there. But I thought that was my favorite of the kind of, video game-ish or game-ish movies for this year.
I haven't seen that yet, so I don't think I honestly don't think I would like it. I remember when you talked about it, and I probably said the same thing. I don't think I would like it, but you never know. One day I might sit down and watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
So the next movie I'm sure is on both our lists.
Yep.
And that would be Saw X, the return of Jigsaw, Tobin Bell, and Amanda, Shawnee Smith as Amanda. So this one takes place between Saws 2 and 3. And it brings Jigsaw back, and he goes for treatment down in, what was it, Mexico?
Yeah.
And they end up like fucking lying and stealing his money. So he captures everybody involved and puts them in traps. And, I went and saw this in theaters, and I thought it was very well done. Made me wonder if they were going to make a sequel, which they've announced they are. So,
well, I mean, now that they've kind of gone back into it, I think that, you can kind of flesh out different stories in the middle and like they did, whereas it's not really gonna mess anything else up too bad.
yeah, there's really no implications to the, 3 or 4 or 5 from this.
It doesn't change anything. It just gives you, just more filler story, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was a neat take on it, I guess.
Definitely.
Here's gonna be what my 5th movie will be. It'll be my surprise sequel of the year that was better than I honestly expected it to be.
Yep.
And that will go to the Meg 2, The Trench.
Really?
I think it was better than even the previews set it up to be. Previews kind of set it up to be like really hard into the, take a left turn into time travel and shit like that.
Yeah.
But as you watch the movie, you realize, yeah, that's obviously not the way they go. But I thought, given that it's a creature feature movie, and
Yeah.
it's a sequel to a creature feature movie, but it was better than a sequel to a creature feature movie really ever deserves to be.
Yeah, that one I own it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I bought it on Black Friday and was like, yeah, I'll watch this, and I just haven't.
I expected it to be a turd, and it wasn't as much of a turd as
Yeah.
I expected. The story kept kind of moving along. It was good.
I know from the trailers that I saw, it was like, okay, so now the thing's fighting dinosaurs, but I guess that is the opening
Like
of
I
the
said,
movie.
it doesn't take that hard left turn,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah. Surprised. I think a lot of people didn't like that though when it came
I
out.
don't care what other people like.
I know. I was just saying. And you beat to
Fuck
your own
other
drum.
people.
I know that. All right. So the next movie, which you haven't seen but I've seen, is Thanksgiving. And for 10 years in the making or longer, uh, Eli Roth delivered on this one. I think you'll like it when you sit down and watch it. It keeps you guessing, and like he even stated in the interview, he had different people playing the killer and giving their own take on how this guy would walk and all that, even though there's only one killer revealed. But just to keep your mind guessing as to who it is. Very well done. And I always said the one thing missing was, during the fake trailer during Grindhouse, it was always like, in this Thanksgiving, there will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving. And I was like, why didn't they use that? So the way he explained it was that fake trailer was from the 80s. They showed the movie once. All the copies got burned, and the only thing left was that trailer. And this is a remake of that movie that trailer is. So that's why it's not like the Grindhouse feel or whatever, but definitely worth a watch. I believe it's out on streaming now, Fandango at Home or whatever that's called. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Thanksgiving. I can't wait for you to watch it. I want your honest opinion on it when you watch it.
No, I'm gonna lie to you.
I know. All right, what do you got next?
That's 5 for me there, guy.
We're doing more than 5 now since you don't like top 5. There's no other movies you like, no honorable mention?
Honorable mentions.
Okay, well, let's just discuss movies of 2023.
Honorable mentions. So here's some movies that I saw that they were decent. They were good. Evil Dead Rise. It was a good one.
I thought that was a 2022 movie.
No, 2022.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty good. I'm not Kyle, but it was decent. It was pretty good continuation of that story. Vacation Friends 2 was good.
I'm surprised that wasn't on your top 5. I thought you really liked it.
It wasn't the best, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
For a, jock comedy style movie, it was pretty good. There was a couple Kevin Hart movies that were in there that were pretty good too, but I don't remember the names of those. Because at this point, his movies are becoming kind of cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I'll give a shout out to Super Mario, not because it was a great movie, but because it kept my kids entertained.
I thought it was a good movie, yeah.
All right. I want the Mario voice.
It's me, Mario.
He said me, Mario. Honorable mentions that I would like to see that I have not had a chance to. I haven't seen Insidious: The Red Door yet. Do you want to watch that? Haven't had a chance to watch a Retirement Plan yet.
Retirement Plan, okay, yeah.
Nick Cage. I do want to watch that. Honestly, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. But I will look forward to seeing. I will watch Thanksgiving at some point. Eventually. I'll probably see Silent Night, although I wasn't too keen on it, but I think it looks better than A Wonderful Knife.
I don't know. Wonderful What Knife was good.
Last Voyage of the Demeter. I want to see that one.
Did you see The Exorcist Believer at all? Have you watched that yet?
Nah. I've never really liked the Exorcist movies. They're just kind of overblown for me.
I'm surprised. Why isn't Renfield on your list?
Yeah, Renfield is going to be one. I just didn't come across it on the sliding scale here. That's all. I can't remember them all.
Well, if you make fucking notes.
I don't write things down. I don't have time for that shit.
Well, I'll throw in some of my honorable mentions while you scroll through your list.
That is all my honorable mentions. That's really all the movies I cared about this year.
So, of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah.
I was forced to include that from one 7-year-old child. That was probably his top movie of the year. So, Barbie. I did see it. It was good. I think you might like it. I'm going to text Mary and tell her that she wants to watch Barbie and make you watch it with her. Happy wife, happy life.
That's not how that works.
Yes, it is. Vacation Friends 2. We talked about Sly, the documentary on Sly, Sylvester Stallone. That was pretty good. And Man Called Otto. Did you see that with Tom Hanks? That's what I hope to be when I grow older. Angry, live by the rules kind of guy, you know? Fog City, which I watched last night. Pretty good. Scream 6, I forgot about. Boogeyman, have you seen that yet?
No.
I think that's based off of Stephen King. It's either that one or some other movie that I saw. And The Family Plan, the Mark Wahlberg movie on Apple TV. Yeah, but kind of looking at the list. The Iron Claw, I want to go see that this week, hopefully.
I saw a clip of the Ric Flair.
Really?
Ric Flair looks terrible. Well, the worst acting for Ric Flair. I feel bad for him.
I wonder who played him.
I don't know, but he did a terrible job. If there's one part of Ric Flair that you have to get right, it's his promo.
Oh, yeah.
And they failed miserably.
I'm that limousine driving.
There's no flow to it. There's no rhythm to it. There's no strut to his voice, let alone no strut to the way he's delivering it. There was no strut to his voice.
That's a shame. You think it's not like he's had to find video footage of him, like.
No. Ric Flair of all the people.
I mean, that'd be like, coming playing The Rock and being like, do you smell what this guy is baking? Messing up his famous lines. But yeah, I did talk to Kyle over the holidays, and he was like, I don't know anything about them, but it looks interesting. And I was like, oh, well, a family plagued by suicide and drugs. That's all you need to know. That sums it up. Because I think one brother died of suicide, one died by drugs, or two died by drugs. There's only one brother left, and his two kids wrestle now. But yeah, Iron Claw's on the top list. Any disappointments this year that you had high hopes for, but failed miserably?
No, I think everything I expected to fail miserably kind of failed the way I expected it to.
The only one I had high hopes for that let me down was Strays.
I didn't have high hopes for that because
it looked funny, and you think Will
Yeah.
Ferrell and Kevin Hart's going to be fucking hilarious. Like, what was that other movie they did together? Get Hard.
Get Hard, yeah.
You know,
I mean, that scene where they're at the carnival there in that lab talks about how his owner is a serial killer. That was funny, and there was a couple one-liners in there, but that was really it. It wasn't.
We play this game, fetch and fuck. My owner throws the ball, I fetch it, I bring it back, and he goes, fuck.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Expendables 4 is on my watch list. What about Hidden Strike? We didn't talk about that. That didn't make you top 5. John Cena and Jackie Chan. What more could you ask for? It's a Wonderful Knife was good. Family Switch. Freelance. That's one I want to see.
Haven't heard good things about that.
Haven't?
No.
Oh, Alice Eve. I like her. So yeah, that kind of wraps up our 2023 movie review, year in review. So now we're going to play a short video, and we will be back after these messages. Okay, welcome back. So, starting next week, we will no longer be the Movie Bar podcast. We will be the Movie Bar Presents, the feature presentation, which will be our weekly show.
Yes. So, originally, the idea for next year was going to be, it was based on just doing 1994 movies, because there are 52 movies that were released in 1994 that we could do one a week, do the whole year, and probably do it again the next year and still not run out of movies worth watching.
Yes.
Not just random crap. But we've expanded it to big milestone anniversaries. Your 10s, your 15s, 20s, 25s, 30s, 40s, depending. And we'll try to tie the episode as close to the original release date as possible, but I'm not too focused on that, so that's okay.
Yeah. There's going to be situations throughout the year where we're going to want to focus on a movie like The Wizard, which will be our first movie we cover under this new format. Didn't come out until later in the year in 1989, but what better movie to pick to start off this next chapter of the podcast than with Fred Savage and The Power Glove?
Sure.
Yeah. So,
to be fair, it's mostly that it was better than Varsity Blues.
Yes. January had a very weak month for movies in all those fucking years. celebrating
Not saying
miles.
Varsity Blues is a bad movie. I'm just saying The Wizard is better than it.
Yeah. So the movie bar will be the umbrella name of this podcast going, like anything we do going forward. And it will all be on the same feed. So you don't have to go subscribing to anything else. You don't have to research the movie bar, resubscribe. It's all going to be on this feed. But we're going to be adding a little bit to it. Whether it's the return of the Hunter cast, or I might throw in a true crime podcast once in a great while on the stream. I don't know yet. Still working details out. But it'll all fall into the movie bar. But that's not all.
We'll turn fresh from the stream into its own, into basically a bonus episode. So if something tremendous that needs to be known about hits streaming, we'll release it in time instead of waiting to fit it in and shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things tend to come up within the last month before a movie's release because it's something that we didn't hear about because they don't advertise like they used to anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with those. But we'll return to YouTube with episode 91.
We're actually going to return to YouTube with this episode. I forgot to change that.
So yeah, probably because we never left YouTube. I was just saying it because we were on YouTube last week. We were on to YouTube yesterday.
We've said we were on YouTube. We're on YouTube, but some of the episodes haven't been uploaded lately because it's been kind of a hassle with everything going on for me to sit there and wait 2.5 hours for the fucking thing to upload and then have to click. But I will make sure going forward that all episodes are on YouTube, whether it be the feature presentation, weekly podcast, or the fresh from the streams, or whatever else it is that we put out. And once a month, I will be doing, because I know Justin won't do it, a coming attractions episode where it kind of discuss what's coming up, theatrical, Blu-ray, streaming releases, and that will be a bonus episode as well as a bonus on YouTube. And we'll also be focusing more on taking clips from the show for TikTok and YouTube. And I'm thinking just saying fuck X altogether because I hate fucking.
Quit calling it by that stupid name. It's Twitter.
Yeah, we can just stop that fight right now. But
no, Twitter.
We want to grow our fan base, and we're revamping the whole show during this, and we hope you guys like it. Hope it draws more listeners. Hopefully somebody listens and goes, "Oh, wow, let me share this with my friend. They might like this." We're just average guys. We're not in the movie business. One of us was, but he's gone now. And he will pop in once in a while too. But
if we let him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of ass kissing to do before we bring him back. I'll just be gone for a few weeks. Whatever. But we just like talking movies. We like to watch movies. We like to discuss movies. This is what we used to do in the basement years ago. We'd go to Movie Stop, pick out a movie, go back and watch it. And it was either like, yeah, that was good, or what the fuck did we just watch?
Donkey Punch.
I wonder when that's celebrating an anniversary. Is that celebrating? Or it's...
Teeth.
There you go. Now we're talking. And, we just want to find regular people that like to talk movies too. We might have the occasional special guest to discuss a movie. I'm working on things here, okay? Don't roll your eyes. As the producer, I go out and do stuff, okay? So, going forward, it'll be the Movie Bar presents the Movie Bar presents the feature presentation, and then eventually it'll just be the feature presentation. But while we're in this transitional period,
maybe we'll see. Who knows? once he loses the ownership of the website, balls in the air, man. We can do whatever we want at that point.
We might just say fuck this and start a whole new podcast.
Just change everything.
Fucking RSS feeds and everything. You have to go subscribe. But yeah, so that's pretty much. So this is pretty much the last episode of the Movie Bar Podcast. Next week, brand new slate, and it'll be the feature presentation with John and Justin.
Episode 1. You're never gonna get to your 100.
Well, as I would have been to 100 if we didn't miss weeks when Kyle fucking first abandoned me years ago. But yeah, we're gonna take the episode numbers out. It's a fresh start. I'm okay with it. I wanted to keep it going till 100, and then, but January 5th. Yeah, January 5th. I had to make sure I had the right date. New year, new podcast. Try to be a little more professional next year. Shirt and tie next week. Shirt and tie next week.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'll put a digital tie on my phone and I'll just wear it like this.
Just get one of those tuxedo shirts.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't wear. But there is not a goddamn thing on this earth that I have left to wear a certain tie to, other than a funeral. I've already been married. Don't need to wear one again.
That was a hell of a wedding too, from what I remember and what I've been told. So yeah. So what are we covering next week, Justin?
I believe we've discussed The Wizard.
Should we give the rundown for the month?
Nah.
Okay.
Because it could change, knowing you.
No,
You'll find some other goddamn movie that came out on some other thing. You're like,
no, I've already moved. I'm looking at February already. We're gonna have a talk once we finish recording.
I don't believe you, but that's okay.
I want February mapped out now.
Oh.
So for the last time, the bar is now closed. The health department shut us down. We're out of business. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow and stay up to date with the podcast at the Movie Bar Pod on X, at the Movie Bar Podcast on Instagram.
I thought you were going to leave it out.
And at the Movie Bar Pod on YouTube and TikTok. And at the Movie Bar Podcast on Facebook.
Too many ands. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and most places you listen to your podcasts. It's back this week. And be sure to check out our website, www.moviebarpod.com.
That'll be available January 1st. It'll be back up and running. Thank you for listening. Please let us know what you want to hear by contacting us on social media or via email at themoviebar@outlook.com. Please be sure to like, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Have a good time.